Rome did not begin as an empire. It began as an idea that men must govern themselves before they can govern others. Before Rome had marble temples, before it had legions that shook the world, it had something far more powerful: virtue. The Romans believed that the strength of a civilization was not found in gold or weapons, but in the character of its men. So what virtues built Rome? And what happened when those virtues were abandoned? This is the story of how virtue forged Rome, and how its loss nearly destroyed it. Act 1. What virtue meant to a Roman. The Roman word for virtue was virtus. But virtus did not mean kindness, it did not mean comfort, and it certainly did not mean weakness. Virtus meant strength of character, courage under pressure, discipline in hardship, honor in action, self-control in victory. The word itself comes from vir, the Latin word for man. To be virtuous was to be fully masculine in the Roman sense: firm, restrained, dependable, and brave. A Roman did not ask, "What feels good?" He asked, "What is right?" Virtue was not optional, it was expected. Act 2. Pietas, discipline, and sacrifice. Another pillar of Roman life was pietas. Pietas meant duty to family, to the gods, and to the state. It meant placing responsibility above personal desire. Roman fathers were expected to rule their households with moral authority. Roman sons were raised to obey, endure, and serve. Discipline was drilled into daily life. Roman soldiers trained relentlessly. They marched miles with heavy armor. They built defenses before resting. They endured hunger, cold, and pain without complaint. Why? Because Rome believed discipline in peace created strength in war. Luxury was treated with suspicion. Excess was seen as dangerous. A man who could not control himself could not be trusted with power. This moral framework did not just build soldiers, it built citizens. Act 3. 4 men who embodied Roman virtue. Rome did not just talk about virtue, it honored men who lived it. Cincinnatus, duty over power. Lucius Quinctius Cincinnatus was a farmer. When Rome faced invasion, the Senate granted him absolute power as dictator. He left his plow, took command, defeated the enemy, and then gave up power. No throne, no ambition, no reward. He returned to his farm. To Rome, Cincinnatus proved that true leadership meant knowing when to walk away. Fabricius, integrity over wealth. Gaius Fabricius Lucinus lived simply and rejected luxury. Enemies attempted to bribe him with gold. He refused. He believed a man enslaved by wealth was already defeated. Rome trusted him because he wanted nothing. Regulus, honor over life. Marcus Atilius Regulus was captured by Carthage. He was sent back to Rome on parole to negotiate peace. If Rome refused, he was required to return, knowing death awaited him. Regulus urged Rome to continue the war. Then he returned to captivity. Romans told this story for generations, teaching boys that a man's word is sacred. Cato the Younger, virtue without compromise. Cato lived during Rome's moral collapse. He rejected corruption, despised luxury, opposed tyranny. When Caesar seized power and the Republic fell, Cato chose death rather than submission, not out of despair, but principle. Cato reminded Rome that survival without virtue was not victory. Act 4. When Rome abandoned virtue. Rome did not fall to foreign enemies first. It fell inward. Discipline faded. Luxury spread. Pleasure replaced duty. Men no longer sought honor. They sought comfort. The Romans themselves warned, when virtue dies, laws multiply. When character weakens, force replaces